father's brow, no herald called me son. I learned the weight of iron young and kept it when others run. They speak of chosen bloodlines, I've only got my own. The field doesn't care who's worthy, steel doesn't test your creed. It bites the same through silk or wool, it answers only need. I've buried men with brighter marks who thought they were decreed. No back is bent from holding lines that broke before I did. My hands have shaken after dark, that's something heroes hid. They write of glory clean and loud, they never write of grace. No banner for my name, no legend carved in stone, just boots that kept their ground when better men were gone. If standing is a gift, it's one I gave myself, not blessed, not crowned, still here. I've run before, I won't pretend. My legs don't know retreat, but something in my stubborn ribs won't let me stay downbeat. Not fearless, not divine, just hard to defeat. When the stein goes red and loud and faith turns stain and spread, you'll find out quick what's built of gold and what's just talk instead. I'd never claim to shine. I love. Let others chase their shining tails, let bards invent their right. If history forgets my face, the dirt will understand. I wasn't born outstanding, I have lived what I
They brought their questions to my door, candles low, heads bowed. They thought the truth would make them strong. I did not say how. Every answer cost a thing, every fact removes a veil. Some truths don't break the body first, they make the spirit pale. You ask what I have learned, you ask what I can see. I see the threads behind the world and what they do to me. Knowledge is not a light alone that does not simply guide. It showed you what was always there and what was better life. I know which wars are justified, I know which gods pretend. I know the weakness in your oath and how your story ends. You think that makes me powerful. You think that makes me wise. But seeing through the fragile hope is not the same as rise. There was a night I almost held. He answered from your head. Watched you cling to something warm you did not understand. I could have let you keep that faith, let ignorance stay kind, but truth is what I swore to serve, even when it blinds. Clarity, you kneel and beg for proof. You never ask what knowing does when it corrodes the roof. If wisdom is a narrow road and doubt its constant friend, then I will walk it to. But I will not pretend.
Oh, la na 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 na. Oh, la na 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 na. That's what I do. Count the breath, lock the thought. Pressure bends, but I don't move. That's the rule. They taught me first. Shield up, mind tight. Feel the hit before it lands. I've turned fear into a tool. I've turned chaos into hand. Something slipped, something pushed back. It wasn't mine. The noise got closer than it should. The edge went dull inside my head. I reached for calm and found a crowd where discipline had always been. I can feel them now, not enemies, not allies, just everything. Every scream, every ending, every moment breaking at once. I didn't drop my guard, I got turned on me. This isn't force, this is flood. This isn't power, this is loss. The war didn't hit my body, it got in my thoughts. I trained to hold the line alone. I trained to be the quiet one. Now every thought wants out at once, and I can't tell which one is mine. If control was all I was, what am I when it's gone? I'm still standing, I'm still breathing, I just don't know who is doing it. This isn't strength, it's too much. This isn't failure, it's worse. The war didn't break my armor, it learned my voice. Hold the line, I try to say, but the line won't hold me back. Before I ever raised a hand, it stirred beneath my skin. Heat that did not ask my leave, a breath that wasn't mine to begin. They watched for signs in my first cry. They await the shape of flame. I learned to speak around the truth, that I was never just mundane. It coils when anger sharpens, it hums when I grow still. It dreams in language older than memory or will. There is something in my marrow that remembers how to reign, something vast and patient that does not feel like me when I open up my mouth and fire answers back. Tell me, who is speaking? Oh, you call it legacy, you call it bloodline pride. You say I should be grateful for the shadow at my side. Yes, I feel the power rise. Yes, I feel it awake. But every time it bares its teeth, I wonder what it takes. There was a moment I leaned in, let it stretch its wings. The room grew small, the air grew thin. I liked what power brings, not the fear, the certainty, the weight of ancient claim. For one long breath I didn't know if I would stay the same. There is fire in my veins, but it does not sleep alone. There is a throat inside my chest that isn't mine to own. Call it gift, call it curse, call it ancient flame. If I am more than what I was, why does it know my
I was not born angry, I was chosen. There is a difference, one is hunger, one is purpose. When the priest laid hands on my head, he said, you will not break. He did not say I would not bleed, he did not say I would not ache. He said, when others run, you will remain. So I remained. First wound I thanked him, second wound I thanked him louder. By the third I understood. Pain is proof. If this is holy, then make it hurt. If this is faith, then drown the earth. I don't want mercy, I don't want peace, I want the fire that does not cease. If I must wait to prove his name, then let me be the flame. They think I smile because I'm mad. No, I smile because I see it. The space between the slain and strike, wherever leaves and breezes. You see a battlefield, I see a test. You see a wound, I see I'm blessed. There was a day I should have died. price of every stand. The law once spoke with living fire, and I was shaped by its command. Then heaven stopped without a sign. No storm, no word, no final sound. One moment prayer still had a voice, the next the sky just faced the ground. I waited for the fire to speak. It never did. I kept on kneeling out of habit, kept on praying without sound. My hands still moved the way they used to long after no one was around. Day to year to empty year, the answers never came, but still I stood where duty lived and spoke the quiet name of law, the same. They tell me now I serve a ghost, that faith like mine is just a play. They say the throne is empty stone, that I'm what time forgot to take. They laugh when I remove my helm, as if belief should rot away. No voice to bless, no hand to stay. I kept on kneeling out of habit, kept on praying without sound. My hands still move the way they used to long after no one was around. Day to year to empty year, the answers never came, but still I stood where duty lived and spoke the quiet name of law, the same. I could have let the oath turn dust, let meaning fall apart. No God remained to strike me down, no heaven watch my heart. I did not stay for promise kept, I stayed for what I am. No blessing ever marks my blade, no warmth lives in my prayer. I guard a law that cannot guard me, and answer calls that echo nowhere. No sign, no light, no guiding hand, only the people, only the line, only the long abandoning quiet that tests this spine of mine. My God is dead, my oath is not. I serve the crown with no throne left. Bloodline blessed in flame, I learned to breathe through broken ribs and rise the same. You wanna heal, born from stars. I've never seen the sky, I only know the sound a body makes when it won't die. legends miss their mark. Talent burns bright in the charge, it fades in the dark. I don't burn, I don't flare, I just keep stepping forward, like the end's not their last man. Call it blade, no miracle swing, just weather and pain. Round by round, I take the ground. You don't win because you're chosen, you win because you don't go down. I don't feel it, I feel every blow. The difference between us, I don't let it show. I don't need glory, I don't need glory, I don't need luck, I don't need luck, I need one more breath when it gets too much. Last man up when the line gives away, when the loud ones fall, I stay. Call it stubborn, call it luck, I am the champion, and I don't run out. They said the sun lives in the chest, a spark the dark can't drown. They said let others see your flame, be beacon to the town. So I learned to gather heat in palms, to shape it into line, to let the daylight answer me when shadows cross the spine. Light the dark, break the night, let your body be the light. That's what they told me from the start. Burn it clean inside your heart, but fire doesn't softly glow. It takes its fuel, it needs to grow. If I am meant to always shine, when do I get to close my eyes? They cheer when radiance leaves my hands, they praise the golden flare. They do not feel the heat remain long after it's not there. It lives beneath the rib and long, it presses at the bone. You think it's gift, a holy mark, it feels like standing alone. There was a dawn, I did not rise. Let darkness hold the sky. Just once I wanted not to be the answer to their cry. The world did not collapse that day. The sun came up the same, and I wondered who I'd be without the flame. They call it blessing, call it grace. I don't watch the blade, I watch the shoulder turn. The weight shift, the breath hold, that's where mistakes are born. Every fight is geometry, every life a line to draw. If the angle's wrong by inches, that inch becomes a loss. They say I see the field too clear, they say I never blink. But clarity's not a gift, it's something I can't unthink. I count the steps before they land, I count the seconds lost. If I don't catch the break in time, they pay what I miscost. If I look away for half a breath, that's when someone falls. If I miss it, someone dies, not me, not first. The gap I failed to close in time becomes a name in dirt. They trust the calm in how I stand, they trust the hand I raise, but every order I give out loud is one I've run 100 ways. I replay fights before they start, correct them in my head, shift the flank, delay the push, move the wounded instead. They think I'm steady, think I'm sure, think doubt is not my kind. The doubt is what keeps men alive, I just keep it in the side. By even one, that's enough. If I miss it, someone dies. That's the rule I live beneath. Not glory, not praise, just timing held in teeth. They call it discipline, they call it earned command. But every fight is one more test of whether I still can. And I am the battle master, and I cannot afford to be wrong.
Kneel if you fear the gathering sky. Clouds bend low when I draw breath. I do not whisper gentle prayers, mine are carved in lightning's depth. The air grows tight around your lungs, the sea climbs up to hear my name. I did not come to soothe your sins, I came to set them all aflame. You called for judgment in the dark, now feel the pressure start. I am the thunder answer, the hammer in the rain, righteous in my violence, holy in my pain. When the heavens split wide open and your idols start to fall, know it was my God who spoke and I delivered all. I've walked the cliffs where sailors wept, watched kingdoms drown in foam. The storm does not ask who is kind, it only claims its own. My hands are cracked with sacred fire, salt and blood beneath my nails. Mercy is a summer breeze, but I was born in gales. You pray for wrath to cleanse your land, now understand. I am the thunder answered, the blade within the squall. You're trembling at solution when the lightning starts to fall. Let the towers shake like sinners, let the proud meek tore apart. My God does not speak softly, he shouts through my heart. He shouts through my heart. Do not mistake me for a healer, I heal through broken stone. Every strike is sanctified, every scream atoned. If faith must come through terror, then terror I will be. The sky is not your comfort, the sky is judgment through like second skin, gold across my hands. They said it marked me chosen then, I only felt the brand. Every prayer came back as flame, every doubt a spark. You call it holy fire, I call it in the dark. I still burn, I still blaze, even now. Heaven's mark beneath my skin, it never asked what I believed in. Call me fallen, call me wrong, the light is loud but I am strong. If grace won't bend and won't return, I still burn. You think the glow means loyalty, you think it means I kneel. You've never felt a halo cut the way it makes you feel. It answers when I lift my hand, it answers sharp and clean. But power doesn't equal love, no matter how it bleeds. There was a night I let it fade, let the silence stay. No angels came, no voice replied, just ash where I had prayed. So I learned the truth inside the flame. Light does not mean kind. If heaven wants its weapon back, it'll have to pry it from mine. I still burn, not for you, not for those I once outgrew. Radiance is not remorse, it's just a sharpened source. Call it grace, call it war, I don't bow to it anymore. If I am marked and cannot turn, then let it burn.
makes the prayers go thin. Mud and iron, breath and grit. I don't ask for mercy now, I ask for witness. I was taught the hymns for after death, not for moments like this sound. When faith is tested by the way, the ground won't slow us down. If the heavens ever cared to look, this is where they'd start. My God is watching, that's enough for me. Not to save us from the blade, to see what we decide to be. No silence now, no turning back, no quiet when the lines are crossed. My God is watching what I do, not what this war will cost. I bless the strike before it lands, not the hand that falls away. I've learned the difference in the sound between the brave and the afraid. They think belief means certainty, a banner raised, a shouted call. But faith is standing in the crush and choosing where you fall. If justice has a way to it, it's carried in the arms. My God is watching, I feel it in my chest. Not approval, not command, just the pressure of the test. I don't pray to be forgiven, I don't ask to be absolved. My God is watching what I choose, when there's blood on every resolve. If I break, let it be honest. If I strike, let it be clean. Let the truth survive the clash between what's holy and what's seen. I won't hide behind the words I learned when wars were myths. If my God is watching now, let them see me like this. My God is watching, that's the vow I keep. Not to win, not to endure, just to answer when I'm seen. If faith means standing in the fire with my eyes still open wide, then my God is watching me, and I won't look aside. I am the cleric who fights knowing this. My God is watching. My God is watching.
They taught me sigils, breath and form, how ink can split the air. But when the shield wall buckled in, no scholar stayed there. Steel answered faster than a page, blood moved quicker than a thought. The spell had formed inside my mouth, the blade finished what it called. The wizard smirked at how I cast, too blunt, too loud, too slow. The fighter spit when I prepare, the war before the blow. Both sides say I chose wrong ground, both sides say I'm less. Half of me is discipline, half unfinished stress. If I drop the book, I lose my edge. If I drop the blade, I die. So I stand in the seam they hate, steel in one head, spark in the other, not enough of either to call myself brother. The spell burns short, the blade burns long, both the men and who. I am never holding anyone, but I'm still more than you. Today I burn inside the strife. Felt it tear through something thin that used to feel like life. There's only so much breath to shape, so much soul to spend. Each ward I raise against the dark leaves less of me to mend. Power is an endless fire, it's fuel you don't get back. So I stand in the seam they hate, steel in one hand, spark in the other. Every shield I force to life makes the silence heavier. The flame inside is thin and now the blade is all that's true. I don't know which half survives, but I'll die as both, not you. I don't cast to look impressive, I don't swing to prove a point. I do both because the world keeps trying to tear me joint from joint. Magic isn't elegant, steel isn't grace. They're just the only ways I found to hold my place. I stand in the seam you marked, I carry what you split. The mind that never quite fits in the arm that won't quit. The spell is fading from my bones, the sword is slit with use. My sword is heavy but my mind is heavier. I am the Eldritch Knight, and I belong nowhere but the line. I learned the shape of open hands, the sound of hope against the latch. I stayed so quiet I forgot if waiting hurt or felt like rest. They told stories about traps and teeth, never asked why I stayed behind. If you don't move, they call it safe. If you don't speak, they call it fine. I studied footsteps, breathe and greed. What makes you kneel, what makes you trust? Gold shines brighter when you're tired, wood feels warmer than the dust. I didn't choose to hunger first, I learned it watching who survived. Nothing feeds itself on truth, only shapes that feel alive. If I open, I am killed. If I close, I'm left to rot. Every time you reach for me, I become the thing I'm not. I learned what you wanted, I learned how to stay. I became something useful, so you look my way. If I showed you what I am, you'd raise your blade instead. So I stay what you're reaching for until I'm dead. I don't remember my first shape, I don't remember having one. Just hinges carved into my skin and wait until the fear's gone. You call it evil, you call it wrong, I call it breathing. One more turn, you leave a story, scars and gold. I stay and never get to learn. I was never meant to choose, only meant to be chosen right. Every lock I learned to wear cost me another piece of hide. I learned what you wanted, I learned how to stay. I became something useful, so you wouldn't walk away. If I ever opened fully, you'd swear I lied instead. So I keep my mouth shut tight and feed the myth you spread. I am not the bite you fear, I am not the trick you tell. I am hunger taught to wait, I am patience learned in hell. If I was seen, I'd be destroyed. If I am hidden, I decay. So I choose the only shape left, the one that lets me stay. stay closed instead. You laugh beneath the tavern light, tankards raised, boots warm. You speak of roads and kings and wars, of dangers clear in form. I nod and let the noise roll on. I let the stories keep. I do not tell you what I saw while you were asleep. There are doors that are not wood or stone. There are cracks without a seam. There are eyes that open in the dark and watch us like a dream. You've never felt the process change, the air goes thin and deep. You've never heard the distant call that breaks my sleep. While you sleep, I stand. While you breathe, I listen. There are things that test the edge of what this world is given. I was not sworn to banners, not to crown or key. I swore an oath to what you'll never see. While you sleep, I'm distant at the fire. You think I don't engage. You've never felt a mind pressed back from something vast and strange. It is not steel that splits my guard. It is the constant strain to hold the light against a thought that has no name. There was a night I almost let it through, just to feel relief, just to share the weight of knowing with someone who would believe. But terror spreads faster than truth, and I could not be the spark. So I swallowed what I saw and let it live in dark. If I fall, it won't be seen. No songs will mark the ground. The world instead of speak. I am the wall against the vast, and walls don't sleep. You laugh when I miss the step, when I tilt and sway too wide. You see a fool with stained sleeves and liquor on his side. You think the stumble is a mistake, you think the grin is slack. You've never seen how closely I am measuring attack. Spill the cup, let it run. Trip the blade before it's drawn. Slurred words, half-closed eyes. Count the rhythm in disguise. If I fall, it's by design. Every stagger drawn in line. They trained a straight and narrow first. Spines align like spears, but straight lines break under strain. I learned that young in years. Better bend and twist and laugh than snap beneath the weight. Better mock the watching world than let it calculate. There was a night I dropped the axe, sat steady, clear and still. No sway, no grin, no crooked breath, just silence in my will. They asked if I was injured, they asked what had gone wrong. I lifted up the cup again and played along. You'll never know the cost of it, the discipline it takes to make your weakness look like wine while never showing shakes. You think I drowned inside the noise, you think I lost my way, but I am most in control when I sway. You said my name without a test, no wager in your tone, no narrowing eyes for hidden wires, no weighing what I'd own. You spoke like doors were meant to stay, exactly as they seemed, like maybe I was not a lock, not smoke, not slight, not scheme. Nothing up my sleeve. I could have left the silence sit, could have left it plain. No mirrored word, no twisted joke, no angle to explain. You didn't reach for purse or blade, you didn't guard your side, you only stood there open-faced, and I lied. I turned the truth into a trick, made on a skier game, shifted ground beneath your feet. Before you knew the name, you almost saw what wasn't staged, almost made me choose, but being known is heavier than anything I lose.
wasn't fear of getting caught. I've danced that line for years. It wasn't threat of steel or spell that sharpened all my gears. It was the space you left for me to stand without disguise, and I filled it like I always do, with misdirected lies. You laughed, not fooled, just disappointed, not angry, just away. You said, you don't have to do that. I did, because I care. Crowns from guarded heads, I've bent the laws of sight. I've stolen things no vault could hold and vanished in the night. But the hardest thing I ever took was what you chose to give, a chance to not be spectacle. I made it disappear instead.
The blade waited in the dark, a whisper carved in iron bone. It promised power, just a name and guards. I was tired of being alone. Every promise sounds like mercy when you have nothing left to lose. So I said the name. I don't know where I end, I don't know where it begins. The steel remembers every kill and carved the story in my skin. I lifted it, something breathed, a pulse not mine, moved under my ribs, a warmth like fingers curling around me today. It felt so easy to be stronger when the strength was never mine. Men felt like wheat before a scythe, too perfect, too smooth, too aligned. The sword hung before each kill as if it chose the cuts I made. Every swing felt cleaner when I wasn't sure my hand was the one that swayed today. My friends grew quiet by the fire, their laughter died when I sat down. They watched the shadows gather as the weapon listened more than I did. They fear the thing that fights beside me and wonder if it fights for me. They're right to wonder today. I don't know where I end, I don't know where it begins. If I let go, what part survives? What part was ever mine? Some weapons don't need wielders, they need hosts. And I'm running out of places where I still feel like one today. I used to think the blade was hungry, now I know it's patient. It waits for the moment I stop pretending. This power is shared. It knows I won't throw it away, because I've forgotten what part of me is made of it. If I dropped it, would I fall with it? If I let go, would there be a me left to crawl away? The blade doesn't serve me, it wears me, and every day it fits a little better.
They asked for certainty, not truth. A steady voice, a lifted hand. I felt the weight before the vow, the part of me that didn't stand. I knew the cost, just not the shape. And still I said it, still I ran. The oath didn't settle in my chest. It tightened like a held breath should. I practice faith like discipline, repeat the lines because I could. They hear conviction in my tone. I hear the doubt I never would. Belief isn't calm, it's pressure you agree to hold. I gave my word, I didn't feel ready. I didn't wait for the fear to pass. If devotion means I move first, then I move and carry what comes back. They watch me for the signal flare, for something holy in my eyes. I give them posture, pace and lead, and hide the fracture in my spine. If I slow down, the truth gets loud. So I don't slow, I don't decide. If faith survives the moment, it survives because you act. I gave my word, I stand inside it. Not because I'm sure, because I stayed. If righteousness requires motion, I'll be the motion I was afraid to name. If I'm wrong, let it be honest. If I'm right, let it be earned. I won't ask the light to soften me. I'll learn what it demands in turn. I am the Paladin of devotion. The noise of battle drowned my thoughts, stealing breath and broken ground. Then something slipped between the sounds and learned the shape of shouting loud. It didn't speak in words at first, just pressure pushing at my spine. A rhythm wrong but perfectly timed with every strike of mine. The voice got louder, not clearer, just close. It didn't tell me what to do, it showed me what I'd lose. The screams fell back, the world went thin. The chaos finally made sense. I couldn't hear my own fear anymore. The voice got louder. I stopped missing when it mattered, stopped hesitating mid-swing. Every opening lit itself up like it wanted it to be seen. They think I found conviction here, some dark resolve, some hidden will. But conviction doesn't lead in close and finish sentences you didn't mean to fail. The voice got louder, it cut through pain, turned every doubt into a tool, every loss into a gain. The battlefield went quiet in a way I couldn't trust. I wasn't fighting better, I was fighting because I must. It never asked for worship, never carved my name in flame. It just kept narrowing the moment until choice and instinct were the same. If I slowed down, it pressed harder. If I listened, it stayed. Not a command of gravity, I couldn't disobey. The voice got louder, so I stopped resisting it. When everything else fell apart, it was the only thing that fit. Call it power, call it fate, call it losing who I was. All I know is in the clash of war, the voice got louder because it could. I am the warlock who didn't hear the end coming, because the voice was louder than the word.
Ooh, if I were you, know you more. I learned the shape of quiet rooms, locked doors, borrowed names. I learned to count the days between the ache and the change. I tell myself I'm still in here, that want is not command, that the beast is just a shadow I can keep in hand. I build my life around the clock, around the moon's slow rise. I keep my love at arm's length so they don't see my eyes. I make my promises in daylight, I mean every word, but night remembers everything I never heard. I swear I try to hold the line, I swear I know my name. But when the dark starts breathing, I feel it in my skin. I beg my hands to stay my hands, they don't listen. They say I lost control that night, like it slipped away somehow. But control doesn't scream like that when it's breaking now. Wake up with the taste of blood, not mine, but still my fault. Apologies don't heal the wounds you never meant to cause.
They say it wasn't really me, they say I wasn't there, but I remember everything I did while I was scared. They lock the doors and call it care, I call it proof they know. I didn't mean to hurt a soul, I didn't plan the cause. I just wanted one night where I wasn't lost. If love means keeping distance so no one else gets scarred, then I will be the monster if it keeps them safe from harm. If there's a cure, it isn't clean. If there's a prayer, it's late. I don't ask to be forgiven, I just ask to choose my fate. I live between the man I was and what I can't outrun. Every promise breaks a little when the rising comes. If staying means becoming this, then let the truth be known. I'll carry every consequence and walk it alone. I am the thing I fear becoming. Not the page, the footnote no one meant to find, the story under what was sung, the truth they left between the lines. I traced the dates no one aligned, the names erased, the wars renamed. You call it legend, call it myth, I call it something someone blamed. Every answer opens to more doors, and I keep opening. I carry what I learned, not the song, the weight beneath. Every fact cuts something loose and buries something deep. You ask me for a story, you ask me for sharpened into tools. I know the cost of every piece and who was left to feed the rules. I thought the truth would set me free and light would scatter doubt, but every secret I uncover turn another lantern out. If ignorance is mercy, hero waited out the streams, calling mercy, called it fate. I stayed to count the breaths to dream, the living in the ones too late. I watched the body and I quit, the exact moment feel exposed. Her language prayers arrive too slow, in which regrets outlive the soul. They turned away, I took notes instead. Someone had the seed. If isn't distant, is present. I didn't chase the dark for power, I stayed because it wouldn't blink. I learned the way to final seconds, how long a screen can make you think. If life is spent resisting loss, then teach me how to stand inside. I am not afraid of dying, I am afraid of closing my eyes. They say my calm is something wrong, but peace shouldn't feel this cold. But calm is just what's left behind when fear runs out the roads. I don't linger for the silence, I listen for the truth. The breath betrays, the mind begs for delay. But there's a space after the end where fear no longer has a say. I learned to live in that space and bring it back with me. I am the longest because I stay long enough to learn what leaving costs. I knew the weight of every vow, I knew the price of every stand. The law once spoke with living fire, and I was shaped by its command. Then heaven stopped without a sign, no storm, no word, no final sound. One moment prayer still had a voice, the next the sky just faced the ground. I waited for the fire to speak, it never did. I kept on kneeling out of habit, kept on praying without sound. My hands still move the way they used to long after no one was around. Day to year to empty year, the answers never came, but still I stood where duty lived and spoke the quiet name of law the same. They tell me now I serve a ghost, that faith like mine is just a play. They say the throne is empty stone, that I'm what time forgot to take. They laugh when I remove
my helm as if belief should rot away. No voice to bless, no hand to stay. I kept on kneeling out of habit, kept on praying without sound. My hands still moved the way they used to long after no one was around. Day to year to empty year, the answers never came, but still I stood where duty lived and spoke the quiet name of law the same. I could have let the oath turn dust, let meaning fall apart. No God remained to strike me down, no heaven watch my heart. I did not stay for promise kept, I stayed for what I am. No blessing ever marks my blade, no warmth lives in my prayer. I guard a law that cannot guard me, and answer calls that echo nowhere. No sign, no light, no guiding hand, only the people, only the line, only the long abandoning quiet that tests this spine of mine. My God is dead, my oath is not. I serve the crown with no throne left. Smoke lay flat against the fields, harvest stacked and waiting rain. Children ran between the fences, dogs half wild and unafraid. They heard the wings before they saw them, felt the air turn tight and thin. I saw the fear before the fire, and I knew what it would bring. They lined the road with borrowed spears, brave men stiff and borrowed mail. Someone shouted, loose the arrow, someone whispered, it's too late. They didn't see him circle high, didn't know the shape of trust. All they saw were teeth and shadow, and the ruined fire can bring to dust. So I stepped between the torches and raised my head. Don't draw steel, don't take the shot. He is not the thing you're taught. If you strike, he will answer. If you run, he will chase. But if you stand and let me speak, he will hold his place. Trust the flame beside my own, or lose the field to fear alone. An arrow flew before I turned, too young a hand, too quick to brew. The sky split wide with furious light, and every breath forgot to move. I call his name through smoke and heat, not command but plea the fire. Stop one face from home. The cost came back to me. They thanked me when the roof still stood, called him miracle, called me brave. But I saw the doubt behind their eyes, they'll fear what they can't take. He sleeps beyond the outer fields. Now I sleep where I can hear him breathe. Oh, the town is safe from what they saw, not safe from what they believe. Don't draw steel, don't light the spark. Some fires guard against the dark. You see a monster in the sky, I see the reason we survive. If you cannot trust the flame, then trust the hand that stands beside it.
They taught me truth was fragile glass, that honesty can cut too deep. Some words were meant to stay unspoken, some doors were kinder left asleep. They praised the lie that spared a riot, blessed the secret that kept peace. If harm was halted by omission, they called it holy, not deceit. I learned which facts would start a fire, which half-truths kept the crowds aligned. Mercy wore a clever mask, strategy dressed up as kind. I never lied to feed my pride, I lied so others wouldn't break. At least that's what the prayers all said before I learned what they would take. If the outcome honors heaven, doesn't matter how we got there. If the light keeps sort of standing, is the sin still in the air? I kept faith with every result, I kept chaos pushed away. But somewhere truth stopped being sacred and became what wouldn't stay. Don't remember when belief stopped feeling clean inside my chest. I still kneel, still speak the words, I just don't know which ones I meant. The gods never asked me questions, never told me to be clear. They only counted broken futures that didn't happen while I was here. I can't tell mercy from control anymore. Both sound like certainty when spoken slow. I've hidden truth so long for the greater good, I don't know if I'd recognize it whole. If faith is measured by its harvest, then I've served exactly right. I kept the plan intact and moving, I kept the city out of firelight. But if belief was meant to be honest, not just useful, not just clean, then tell me where sincerity fits when lies are what the gods have seen. I am trickery, and I still believe, I just don't know in what anymore. They say I move before the blade, like instinct carved into my bones, like discipline refined by war, like years that taught me how to hold. They never see the space beside where something stands that isn't named. If I arrive a breath too soon, they call it training, call it aim. I learned to trust the double step, the mirror guard, the borrowed ground. When steel came fast, he took the edge. When fear rose up, he made no sound. At first it felt like sharpened skill, like having more of me to spend. But every time he held the line, I felt the line begin to bend. If he strikes first, I stay alive. If I strike first, I fall behind. Every fight we share a breath, but only one of us feels tired. I learned to split the moment, I learned to let him lead. I let the other version become the thing I need. If I hesitate, he answers. If I falter, he stands. So I step where he has stepped before and call it my own hand. They think it's focus, think it's poise, a fighter home to something rare. But I can feel him quicker now, less doubt, less weight, less care. He doesn't flinch at broken ribs, he doesn't hear the dying call. He moves as though the cost is none, as though I never paid at all. If he grows sharp, I grow thin. If he grows steady, I grow small. Every echo commands a little more of all. I learned to split the moment, I learned to let him fight. I let the cleaner version step forward in the light. If I try to lead the charge, he's already there instead. So I follow where he stands and call it courage bred. He doesn't breathe, he doesn't tire, he doesn't question why we bleed. He doesn't wake at night and count the names I still can't let recede. If perfection had a shape, it wouldn't carry what I do. It would move without the weight of having lived it through. I learned to split the moment, I learned it too well. I built a better fighter out of what I couldn't quell. If I ever stood alone again, I don't know if I'd land. I am the Echo Knight, and he is who they planned.
Crying in the rain, but justice never came for them. Their names were fading in the dark, and mercy died before the dawn. I swore my blade would bear their grief, I swore my wrath would guide the night. No hymns could quiet what I felt, so vengeance carved itself in me. I walked through ashes seeking truth, but truth kept pointing back to blood. Each step grew heavier with lies, and every lie demanded steel. Their faces lingered in my hands, long after all the blades were sheathed. I felt their ghosts behind my eyes, reminding me why I must kill. Oh, the guilty tremble when I pray, because my prayers are sharpened now. The light I carried lost its warmth and left a shadow in its place. I once believed I served the gods, but now the gods won't speak to me. I hunt because the hunt feels right, and right is something I can't trust. I don't know when justice ended, or when revenge became my home. I only know the man I was would fear the man I've chosen now. So carve my oath upon their stone, and let the righteous step away. I am the vengeance they embraced, and mercy died the day they did.
Left flank buckled, I saw it turn. Shield split wide in the rain. Someone shouted we were done. I shouted louder than the panic came. Steel rang wrong in their shaking hands. I stepped where the breach ran thin. You don't wait for courage to rise, you drag it back in. Hold the line, hold the line. You think I don't feel the ground give way? I feel it first. I taste the break before it spreads. That's the curse. Eyes lock on me when the noise gets thick. They don't need hope, they need command. So I make my voice the only thing still able to stand. Hold the line, on my mark. Hold the line, don't look at the dime. There was a night I said it late, just one breath slow. The gap was small, small is enough to let it go. Since then I don't let silence live. I don't let doubt decide. If someone's going to break first, it won't be on my side. Hold the line, even if I'm cracked. Hold the line, we don't step back. Hold the doesn't bend, so neither do I.